Hey guys, how's it going? It's your boy Kai Sage here, bringing you back another video. This is my State of PvP for the Lost Devs patch review, if you will, and commentary. So I have 6 things I want to go over, 3 positives, 3 negatives. I don't want to be overly optimistic and give credit where it's not due, but I also don't just want to shit on the game. I know it's very easy to do that. So I'm going to be kind of right down the middle. Overall, if I had to give a grade on this patch, I'm going to give it a C+. So if you don't want to watch the full video and you just want to know my overall review, that's what I'll do. I'm going to go ahead and start in with the positives. I think the positives first always make for a better video, and because every video currently is shitting on ESO right now, so I think going over the positives first, I think was pretty healthy and will give you a refreshing new commentary and video. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and hop into probably the third. I'll go from 3 to 1. So what I feel like is the biggest positive, and then same thing for the negatives, what I feel like is the biggest negative. So we'll start at number 3 on the positives, and we're going to go with performance. So the reason why it's number 3 is because performance has been good. Ever since they did the server upgrades and things like that, I haven't had an issue at all. But performance is still good this patch, which is always good. With new patches, obviously it brings a lot of new things and could cause a lot of performance issues, and it hasn't. So that's a big positive. I don't have a lot to say about it, but on PCNA specifically, that's the server I play on. I'm not going to speak for any other server because I don't play any other one. But specifically on PCNA, the server performance has been really good for PvP. We'll go ahead and hop into the second thing. The second thing is going to be build diversity. So they took out a lot of the bullshit and they fixed a lot of mistakes of the past, which I think is really healthy and positive for the game. A lot of builds work right now, and there's a lot of things that are currently working, and there's a lot of different races for certain classes that you can use, and I mean down to the T, there's a lot of things that legit work right now, which is awesome and very positive for the game. Obviously that hasn't always been the case. There are of course sets that are overperforming, Mars specifically. Rallying Cry isn't maybe overperforming, but it's on pretty much every build because of how good it is. Of course that exists, but there are a lot of things that are viable and work. There's not really any crazy sets that are doing damage for people right now, which is good. And with that, it creates a lot of stat builds, which I think is the way to go with the game. Proc builds, proc damage builds that do damage for you, I think are really are very negative for the game and not good. So the build diversity this patch has been amazing. And I really like it. It makes people actually think of builds, and the best builds in the game, quote unquote, are not builds that are doing damage for you and just allowing you to fucking, two-tap people pretty much without even hitting skills. So very positive about that. And the number one healthy, most positive thing about this patch is the class diversity. Now, it's very similar to the build diversity, but obviously sets and builds are a different aspect of the game versus classes. Obviously I did a tier list pretty recently. Check that out if you'd like to see me go in on the classes more in depth. But right now, other than really Magsorg, every class is very viable, and I think that's good. Obviously there's been a lot of patches where there's been 3 or 4 classes that are just not viable, period. Now when I say that, take that with a grain of salt. Obviously there are classes that are better at dueling and battlegrounds and open world than others. But I think the game should be like that. I don't think every class should be just equal on every aspect. I don't think that's possible, number one. And I don't think it should be that way. Pretty much every MMO that I've seen, there are classes that are better at certain things than others. And that's what makes the game fun, in my opinion. So otherwise, there's no class uniqueness or anything like that. So but that's pretty much it for all the positives. I mean, like I said, I try to keep it as positive as possible with things that I can. I try to be realistic about the game and, not just overly shit on it. But without any further ado, I guess I need to hop into those negative reasons. So we'll start with number 3, and we're going to go with population. So the reason why it's number 3 is because it hasn't been a major problem just yet. But I definitely see a heavy decline in the population. Now, all the years I played this game before, I've seen the population fluctuate. I've seen the game go down, go up. This is probably the biggest decline I've seen for a long, long time. Especially, this is definitely the biggest since I've been on PC. Maybe it's how the game works, and maybe Maybe the population does drastically decline and then drastically climb again. I mean, maybe that's a thing on PC. But I haven't seen it until now in terms of drastically decline. And it worries me, honestly. I legit think that if the game continues at where it is right now, I don't think ESO will be very populated in the next year or so. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, in 2 months it's going to be. No, but at the current rate and the decline compared to last patch, how, just PvP server population, if you look at how many players are in each alliance, I guess the bar, that's a pretty good indicator, especially at certain times. And, Blackreach was full during weekdays last patch, and now it's not even full on weekends, which I feel like is a pretty. And there's no events going on other than the Battleground event, but the Battleground queue isn't super fast or anything like that. So, yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just the events that have been going on. There have been Undaunted events, and now there's a Battleground event, and maybe I'm just underestimating how much those events have played a part in the Cyrodiil population. But to me, it's not looking good, but that's why I did put it at number 3, because maybe I'm a little early. Maybe the population will climb back up, but it definitely does seem like the PvP population in particular has gone down for sure. Number 2, and this is something that any console transfer can tell you. I'm not saying that console's better. I'm not saying that anything console better than PC. What I am saying is that the cowardly play on PC has gotten out of hand. People running from outnumbered fights, 3v1 and 4v1, and 1 or 2 people die, they start booking it. It's a video game, guys. I mean, honestly, it's okay to die in a video game. I have died. Everybody, every good player, Godzilla, every player, Nice Gaming, just to list a few, Deltia, your favorite streamers, Fangrush, everybody has died in the game. I promise. There's nobody who has went unkilled in ESO. I promise. Just take the L. If you were ballsy enough to fight in the beginning when you thought you had the advantage and people die, be ballsy enough to fight till the end. Now, obviously, if somebody's a fucking tank and you realize you'll never kill them, sure, whatever. But if you were woman or man enough to fight somebody with 4 or 5 players to just them, and you start seeing people die, be man or woman enough to fucking die to that one person. Get X'd. Let it happen. Because you put yourself in that situation. So don't run from it when it's about to happen. Obviously, it's your game. I can't tell you how to play. Obviously, I don't pay for your shit. I don't pay for your ESO Plus. I don't pay for anything. But I'm telling you, it's amazing how cowardly people are on PC. I've seen Kirk. I've seen Nice streaming. They talk about it. I've been telling people that if you are a console transfer, you need to all the things that people would get exposed for on console, which I'm not saying exposed videos are good. I'm not saying that. Exposed videos are stupid, and I've made them myself, and I look back on them and they're just stupid and they're a waste of time overall. That's just what it is. But at the end of the day, exposed videos do have some positives in the sense that they usually prevent players from playing like fucking cowards. They do. And the cowardly play is at an all-time high. I mean, I probably could make an entire video just on this patch, like 7-8 minutes worth of players that were ballsy enough to fight me when they thought they had numbers, and then when people start dying, they run. They cloak away, they whatever. Like, it's crazy, man. Like, it really is. Like, the shit is nuts. But to each their own, I guess. It's a negative for me because I think cowardly play is annoying. It's very fucking annoying. And just so I don't take up too much of your time, I want to wrap this up without talking for too long. But the number one negative thing in the state of PvP is ball zergs. I'm not calling them ball groups. They're not fucking ball groups. If you are in a fucking 12-man, you are in a zerg. It's that simple. That you're not a fucking group. You're a zerg. And they chase after like 3-4 man groups and shit with 12 fucking people negates on standby. They hit 3 or 4 barriers before. The problem I have with ball zergs is that there is no counterplay to them if you play in small groups. I mean, I'm trying to tell you, dude, I have hit a Necro ult on them with a negate, with 3 or 4 Dawnbreakers, and I still haven't been able to kill them. Because they'll just hit, like, they'll have their healers wear Snow Treaders, they won't get pulled in, and they'll hit 3 or 4 healing ults, and you can't kill them. They have no counterplay to them. And it's very unfortunate that that's what the game has had to turn into, because the players have gotten that scared of dying in a game and that scared of like competition that they have to do the most cheese ass bullshit that you can come up with in the game. I've seen the videos. I've seen the fucking losers who made spreadsheets to tell bad players how to play the game. I've seen it. The shit is crazy, dude. Like, I have no words for it. I just, it's crazy too, because if you look in those groups, man, there are just pure X material players in there. Like, there's no good players in there. None. These same kids a year ago, I was 1v5 in, 1v4 in, 1v6 in, 2v8 in. The same players. And I can't kill them anymore. It's sad, man. Like, there are some suggestions I've seen, because I know a lot of players are upset by the ball zerg meta. And one I really like is, number one, I guess, let me just get it out of the way. You have to take away cross healing. Because a lot of these ball zergs, obviously you can only go up to being in 12 mans, but when you can get healed by 24 players, because you're in a fat zerg, and they're just moving with you, and you can get healed by all 23, 24, 25, 30 of those players, that's a problem. You're unkillable. If you have 7 healers, you can't kill them. I'm sorry. You just can't. It's not possible. And then the healers have healers, stop it. But other than cross healing, and it wouldn't permanently fix the issue, it wouldn't be, I mean, they'd still find a way probably, but it would provide a lot more counterplay. Is only allowing one type of heal to go on a person at a time. So, for example, you can only have 1 rapid regen on you at a time. You can only have 1 mutagen. It would require people to, number one, run different types of heals. It would make more heals viable. And it would also stop the, I mean, if you have 3 rapid regens on you, dude, that's 5k, 6k, 7k healing a second. Every 2 seconds, whatever it is now. And that's where a lot of the problem is coming. It comes with the heals. The damage, I don't even care about the damage, because 99% of those ball zergs, they have 0 damage. But because there's so many of them, they can just run you over. Ball zergs are a big problem. And to be honest, I think it's probably, if there is a reason that I actually permanently, and I mean legit, walk away from the game forever, it would be ball zergs. It's an unfortunate part of the game. And hopefully they address it at some point. I've seen the patch notes for next patch, and it doesn't look like they are. But hopefully, at some point soon, they address it, because the ball zerg meta has gotten out of control. And like I said, it's not that it's good players, you know, in a cohesive group. I mean, I've seen good players in groups similar to it. And it's whatever. I mean, fine. But when bad players are doing it, and you can absolutely be one of the worst players in the world, I mean, they're running at you, all they're hitting is spin to win. They're running and hitting spin to win. There are other players, all they're doing is running around and hitting rapid regen. Where's the balance in that? Like, you mean to tell me that you can be unkillable and all you got to do is run with 40 people and hit rapid regen? And you're unkillable. And then the DPS, yeah, they're just hitting ultimates and spinning. That's it. They have no other moves on the bar. They have no heals. They have no nothing. That, to me, that's just bad. That's just really fucking bad for the game. But that's pretty much all I got. I'll speed up through the rest of this BG if you want to, you know, finish watching the rest of this Battleground. But that's pretty much all I got. I know I went kind of long, 15 minutes, but I feel like it's quite a bit shorter than what a lot of the other YouTubers put out. So that's the state of PvP right now for Lost Deaths. Like I said, overall, I'll give it like a C+, just because I love how the balancing is working currently. But that's pretty much, and the performance, obviously, but that's pretty much all I have good to say about it. My negatives are quite a bit more than my positives. So hopefully this helps you guys if you guys were worrying about the state of PvP, or you were curious to my thoughts on it. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. I'll see you guys next time. Later.